poor performance, another 2-2 draw. We have a familiar face, familiar voice. Ross, what do you make of it?
Do you know what? First half, I think that was the poorest performance I've seen personally at Old Trafford. It was abysmal. Few players for me that just weren't showing. Rashford. How many times was Luke Shaw getting the ball and Rashford weren't even attempted to run in behind? And I found that frustrating. And for me, the biggest fall guy has to be Jose, because each week I see a different team and I see different tactics. 3-5-2 worked, right? And then all of a sudden we change it. Form drops. Why don't he revert back to it? He did it at half time. That's what we played second half and we got a result. But I feel a little bit like a Scales fan at the minute, because I kind of, we took something out of it, and you do feel a little bit decent that we got a goal last minute. But 2-2 draws to Burnley, mate. That ain't the one at all.
I mean, the first 2 minutes of the game, they pump a long ball up. We missed the header. Rojo's dragged out of position. He makes the foul. And even then, people might say it weren't a foul, it weren't this. All we've got to do is mark our men, get rid of it. Lukaku, head down, missing the header. Rojo was on the floor. Why are we so disorganised at the back? It's not something that you would associate with a Mourinho side, especially defensively, defending corners. That is something you associate Mourinho with in a positive way.
He literally has to go back to basics for that whole team, because it weren't just this game. It's City. We'll give both goals, stupid set pieces. And it's not just defending, it's attacking. We can't score a goal from a free kick or a corner to save our lives. So major change, mate. It's almost like he's got to school them all again. It's like under 15s.
Like we're not doing the basics right anymore.
Doing the basics. If the ball comes in, it goes on the floor. Just hoof it out. They're all just looking at it. I was literally weren't a foul, by the way. Absolutely weren't a foul. But you're right. It don't make a difference. I just couldn't believe it. It was almost, I said to my girlfriend who I was watching it with, it was almost like they were pissed after Christmas. And wasn't it? It literally looked, they had a good Christmas, pissed up, and then it took them 45 minutes to get going.
What did you make of Zlatan, number 10? We've been crying out for a number 10, to someone to be consistent. Jesse Lingard in the last couple of months has done pretty well, to be fair to him. He's coming for a lot of stick. Zlatan, he's world class, he's got the attributes. I was one of saying that, but after seeing him in recent weeks, what do you reckon?
He's not the fall guy for me. He shouldn't be picked. He ain't ready, is he? He shouldn't be picked. Why is Jose picking him for a game like this? What a gamble that was. Again, Zlatan messed it all up tactically for me. The movement weren't there. That's not Zlatan's fault. We all know what Zlatan does. He's on the pitch to be a target man. He has no movement whatsoever. Jesse Lingard was the right sub. Zlatan was right to come off. I ain't blaming him for it. We all know what he is. It's Jose picking the players. I'm not Jose out, but today I think he let the fans down and he realised what mistakes he made at half time, and he did correct them. You've got to give him a little bit of credit for that, but yeah, Zlatan's not the full guy for me. He's just not ready. He will be ready, but he ain't ready.
We were talking about Mkhitaryan. He come on today. I'll be honest, I didn't think he was horrendous. What did you think?
He actually, do you know what? I'll give him some stick over Christmas, mate. But
it's not like you to give Mkhitaryan stick, is it?
No, he did all right. He actually showed a bit of desire, a bit of fight. I even liked him getting booked. He shouldn't have got booked, but I like the fight. It's what I want to see him. It's what I want to see from United players. So I thought he had a decent game. He gave the ball away a few times, but it's understandable. He's not played a lot of footballs, but yeah, decent performance.
Pogba was captain today. You wanted him to kind of have that performance. Obviously, we wanted us to get the win, but you wanted him to get that performance. What did you make of Pogba?
Again, I'm not making him the full guy. For me, I saw Rojo get the ball at defence so many times. Pogba made the movement, he never got it. That ball from Rojo to Luke Shaw happened too often for me. And if Pogba makes 10 movements and doesn't get the ball 10 times, he's going to stop making them movements, and that's what happened. And in the second half, that's why he dropped Matic into centre-back, because it was, you need to get the ball forward straight to Pogba, get it to the midfielders, because what was happening, Rojo kept passing it sideways and Pogba had to come into centre-back to get the ball. Look, I wanted to see a bit more fight from Pogba and a little bit more quality, but I was behind the goal. I didn't see how close that free kick was, but it looked mighty close to me. But again, it's fundamental errors which is making every player look bad. But if Pogba was given the ball, he'll do something with it, but he ain't getting the ball. So again, I blame Jose, I really do.
So it's 2 bad results on the bounce, we know that. Never like to hit any form of panic buttons. I never like to do that, but I said it at the end of the Leicester game. Are we in a top 4 scrap, or second is what we should be getting?
We're in a top 4 scrap, mate. We are now, aren't we? After that, we weren't before this game. We are now. January transfers have to happen. I've been banging on about it for months, and I hope it's the only positive I'm going to take out of this is that this might drive Twatty Woodward up there to do something, because he's got to. We are in a top 4 scrap, and Jose needs to sort United used to have an identity, a way of playing. You know, it always used to be wide play, and then we went to a bit of a counter-attack with Rooney, Ronaldo. There's no identity out there. I don't know what formation we're playing half the time. When the team lineup comes out, we all have to guess. Where's he playing? Where's Zlatan playing? We don't know. And it's just not right. We should go out there with our own identity and blitz teams away, kind of like City are doing. But at the minute, we're changing it every game, and it ain't right. So Jose's got to pick a formation, stick at it. And second half, I think they proved to him that 3-5-2 is a way forward.
You speak about identity, and you know that's our DNA, the club, etc., etc. And you spoke about you feel a bit like a Liverpool fan. Are you worried that because we don't seem to have identity at the minute, we don't know our best 11, we don't know our best formation? Are you worried that we're going to be starved of success for like a long period now? I mean, this is going to be like our 4th year without winning the league. Can you see it going on and on and on and on, or are the good days not too far away?
I think we're too big for that. We ain't Liverpool FC. We're too big for that. And actually, since Fergie left, we have won the most trophies out of everyone in the top 4. So the trophies haven't really drained up. But the only risk we have of going backwards is the board up there. They have to invest. I'm sick of seeing other clubs putting hundreds of millions of pounds every year and United scraping around, not signing Perisic. What is that about? So January's got to happen. And if it don't, and if we lose Jose, I've said this before, we won't sack Jose, we'll lose him, because he'll go if we don't back him financially, because there's other clubs like PSG that are willing to give him 500 million and move clubs forward. If we don't back him and we lose Jose, then the club goes backwards, because who do we turn to? Sean Dyche? No.
I was a Burnley fan that earlier, you know.
I saw him, I know. I mean, it's got a 2-2 draw at United and they think they're fucking...
But on the flip side of that, you know I like to play devil's advocate. Is he not getting way more out of the resources he's got than Jose's getting out of his? Or it's just the fact that the board's not fully backing Jose?
You're right, mate, you're right. Sean Dyche is getting, what miracles out of crap, to be honest. And Jose, he's never been that manager for me. Even at Porto, I thought he had a decent team there because half the Porto team went with him to Chelsea, to be honest. It weren't that bad. But he does need backing because, look, Pep Guardiola hasn't done that. He's had £50 million worth of players every time to develop. But Rashford's a worry, because he's gone backwards this season, like massively backwards. I'm seeing a player that looks starved of confidence, and he looked like he doesn't want to try. I mean, that was really frustrating me, his running. So that are the little things that you've got to say, Jose, you need to, you've got Rashford here, but, on the flip side, he's done all right with Jesse Lingard recently. So, it is devil's advocate. I still back Jose in all the way, and I think he's the only man. He's taken our club forward already, right? Look what Van Gaal left us. He left us a pile of crap.
Sometimes it's hard to see that, isn't it? Because City are playing so well and we're so far behind. Some people say, I know that if buts and maybes don't like to go into it, but on a different season we would be top if City weren't as good as they are. We're behind the pack like a lot of people are, but it's important to remember we have actually made improvements. Scored more goals than last year, have more points on the board. We're starting to concede more now, but we had conceded less than this time last year, so we have made improvements, isn't it?
Yeah, and what you just said there is the exact reason why we ain't Liverpool FC, because we won't, we're not happy with this. But if this is Liverpool, the improvement's immense. But we see the faults and we want them ironed out straight away. And look, maybe we're a bit too impatient, but what we've seen at this club, especially for me in the last 20 years, is just roaring success under an identity of football. I think the football's improved. We still ain't got an identity, but that should come. So yeah, there is improvement, you're right, and we are getting a bit too carried away. And but I don't disagree with it, because I say that's what separates us from the Liverpools, from the Newcastles and all that crap.
Ross, thanks for talking to us, man. Cheers. I'll see you on the signing.